Bro, I'm literally just insanely overstimulated right now. Like, I feel like a female saying that. I feel like a girl saying that, bro. You know when you're so overstimulated with dopamine that you just like constantly check different apps, different notifications, like you tell yourself you're gonna do this one thing and then you get sidetracked and you don't do it, and you get into a rabbit hole and you just fuck off for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Like, it's a fucking rabbit hole. And it's like, I've got to a point where I really had complete control and clarity over my thoughts and my feelings and my focus, to be honest. But it always comes back. It always comes back. And like, my YouTube is pure authenticity, and I'm always gonna come on here and just spit game to y'all, and more so just spit things that I'm currently like actively either struggling with right now or things that I've gone through, and this is definitely one of them. I feel like I have so much on my schedule yet I don't, and it's kind of like a matter of procrastination where I have all these things happening and I'm just like pushing them off. I have a flight tomorrow that I got to pack for. Got a couple calls tonight that I got to get ready for. Trying to, I don't know. It's just a matter of like not having complete clarity over those next steps and exactly what you should be doing. Not having a game plan put in place. Yes, that's what I'm fucking missing, a game plan. A game plan. Honestly, one thing I've been slacking on is one thing that I really just built my progression off of is something called a 5-4-5 method. My clients, if you guys are watching this video, I'm always gonna be authentic. I'm always gonna be authentic, and even on my calls, like my clients, I tell you guys like this is something that I still struggle with myself. But 5-4-5 methods, like 5 macro goals that you're working towards, a 4-step simple morning routine that you do every single day that puts you in a flow state, and then it's 5 needle moving tasks you do every single day to get you towards those 5 goals. So that's something that I do like within myself, and it's something that I built my progression off of when I was like dangerously locked in, and like this was not even like, it'll sound nice when I say like I was waking up at 4 a.m. for 9 months straight, but then again, I was like just like mentally, I was just like whatever I need to do, I'll just do it. Like I was like productively procrastinating in a way, like 4 a.m. wake ups for what? I had nothing specific going on. Like I was building a business, yes, but I was honestly just like, just doing a lot of fucking nothing, but I don't regret anything that I did. More so, my point of bringing this up and the relevance is that I had a game plan, I had structure, which gave me clarity and gave me determination and drive throughout my day, which is what I'm missing. It's what I'm missing. Sometimes I use the YouTube, I use this video, I use this camera right here as a form of therapy and a form of self-coaching. So yeah, I talk to my boys. Yeah, I talk to people who are in higher positions than me. Like, hey guys, like not even like, yo, what I do? Like just talking out with my boys. Like everyone has that. And this is also my form of like self-coaching, because I would tell my clients the same exact thing. Like, bro, if you don't feel like you have focus in your day, like, yo, set up a actual plan. Like no structure. Like the biggest thing I'd say is like your goals can only be as big as the systems and processes you have put in place to get you there. And I mean, it's difficult to put that system in place when you don't know exactly what needs to get done. And what you need is a perspective shift. Yes, that's where I'm going with the video. What you need is a perspective shift. Either getting out of your apartment. I'm about to go for a walk right now. In 30 minutes, I had some time to kill, so I was like, fuck it. I need to rip something. I need to talk. Going outside, a perspective shift, getting your mind off things, lowering your dopamine levels more than anything, just getting off your phone, detaching. It's literally the most peaceful and low cortisol feeling, just feeling completely detached from your phone. Social media, it doesn't exist. Yes, you have text message you need to respond to, you have responsibilities, but then again, like those responsibilities cannot be met if you don't prioritize you. If you don't prioritize you, and that's a fucking line right there. That's a fucking line right there. But yeah, I mean, I even had a client conversation yesterday regarding the same exact concept, saying that like one of my clients was like stressing, like I just want to go fully in on my business right now. And I just told him like you would not have your business if it wasn't you prioritizing yourself first within your training, your diet, your mental health, your sleep. Sleep is the most important thing, but like none of that would be possible if you didn't prioritize yourself first. So that's what I'm somewhat missing, because I've been really fucking dialed in, which is the interesting part. Like I've been losing a lot of weight. I look at pictures of me like even like a year ago, and I'm like, damn, I had a fall off. Like I'm 21, I had a fall off. I need to get my physique better. I have a 4 pack right now, but check out my IG. Check out my IG. I have a 4 pack right now, but I want a visible 6 pack. I would say like I'm 15% body fat right now. Look in the mirror, probably 15. But yeah, I need to get at least 12. And I've been super consistent, eating good meals, tracking my macros every single day, and weighing myself. But yeah, it's just a form of consistency, and also just breaking free from the comfort cycle, because you operate in forms of patterns almost all throughout your life. Like everything happens in patterns whether you realize it or not. But there is a form of a comfort pattern that you start to self-sabotage yourself, because you did not identify those specific patterns in your life that are a form of self-sabotaging towards your current identity you have right now. What do I mean by this? I mean that, if you are someone who is 20% body fat, just to make it easier, like visually, if you're someone who's 200 pounds, right, and you identify and you contain the habits of someone who is 200 pounds, right? You don't track your macros. You eat whatever you really feel like it. You feel sluggish all the time. You feel low energy. You feel bloated. You feel like your face is puffy. Like all of these things that come with like a bad diet, right? Yet, and let's say like you start going to the gym, start really training hard for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You start eating a little bit cleaner, cutting down fast food, tracking your macros maybe every so often. And then that third week comes around and you're like, okay, I got some momentum going. And you start to like mentally slip off track. Like maybe life gets in the way a little bit. Like, you have some things as far as, work gets a little bit busier. You have some hangouts that you go to. And then you fall into a cycle of self-sabotaging again, where you start to justify and say, maybe don't have to track my macros today. Maybe I don't have to do a workout today. Like you start self-sabotaging unconsciously because you did not destroy those old patterns that your old identity used to contain. As far as, like not tracking those macros consistently. Instead, what you should be doing is identify and obtain the habits, the identity, the characteristics, the patterns of that higher self, that higher identity that you have for yourself, right? So when when things come in the way, right? Like one thing that I do, like I am fairly consistent with, is that I repeat to myself very, very specific, you can call it like identity reinforcement material in the morning. Every single morning I read these things to myself as far as like the exact man that I want to be. And one thing I tell myself, this is in relation to the point I'm trying to make, is that I never let my emotions swing too heavy, and I just remain like, never get too high in the highs, never get too low in the lows. And I always just remain consistent, and I judge myself based on how committed and consistent I can be rather than singular achievements, right? So that means that instead of thinking, oh, I got to the gym 3 days this week, I'll say, how consistent did I go this week? Right? And I don't let my emotions get in the way of the facts. The facts is that if I do want to have a visible 6-pack, it means I have to be in a calorie deficit. It means I have to train very hard when I go to the gym. It means that I have to hit a minimum 10,000 steps a day, right? Those are the patterns of my new identity self that I need to hit regardless of what happens in my day, because that's who I identify as, right? Just for example, right? And I hope this is me spitting value right now, but just for example, when you wake up in the morning, hopefully you don't think about brushing your teeth. Or like when you go to sleep, hopefully you don't think about taking a shower. You just do it. You just identify as a person who does have good hygiene. Like that is the main point, is that you need to identify as that person who already does the thing, because no matter how you feel in your day, no matter how your emotions swing, like you're still going to take a shower. You're still going to get some nice clothes on when you go out to dinner, because you identify as someone who dresses up. You identify as someone who does have good hygiene, because that is who you are internally. It's not a matter of having to be motivated to do that stuff. Like you just do it because that's who you are. Do I talk too fast? Maybe I talk too fast, but I feel like I hit like a flow state for a second there. And that honestly felt really good, just rambling out to the camera. And I did remind myself of some things that I need to reapply into my life as far as finding those specific behaviors. I think I did identify some behaviors today in my life as far as like, getting into the self-sabotage cycle of picking up my phone and just scrolling. I don't even scroll, to be honest. I just like hyper check notifications, like between different accounts and different businesses. I just like hyper check them because I'm like outcome focused when I really just gotta detach. I'm like problem solving in real time. That's why I'm like making those faces. But yeah, I just need to detach more, focus on the present moment. Because the present moment is all that matters. You can't focus too hard on the outcome. And I was like looking at my IG like the other day, and I went across this old caption I had on like a very old post, like a year and a half ago, right? And I put in the caption just this one line. I'm like, why does that hit? It says, the battle of entrepreneurship is who can remain the most consistent while simultaneously forgetting about the outcome. Something like that. And I'm like, damn, why did my old self like the information is evergreen, right? And that's a good point, right? A lot of the things that a lot of the things that you're told by other people, as far as maybe listening to a YouTube video like this, as far as searching for answers, talking to different people, right? A lot of the things that you're told as far as what you should do about the problems in your life are likely the same exact things, just explained in different ways. Like I tell my clients this all the time, like I literally just tell you guys like the same exact things on our alignment calls every single week, just in different ways that you can comprehend and understand a little bit better. It's just the same information. Not to say that it's any less valuable, but just to say that you need to see how the same learning lessons are applied in different levels in your life, right? One really good way you can remember this is that new levels, same devils, right? And I'll say that again, new levels, same devils, meaning that when you start to upgrade your life, you start to ascend, right? Physically, mentally, financially, you will face the same exact devils as you did in that previous level, as far as consistency, identity, misalignment, meaning, the entire thing that I was explaining earlier, procrastination, right? That ties in with identity, mismatch behavior, or whatever I said. Yeah, that's what happens. Thinking what I should even title this YouTube video. I don't know. It felt good rambling out. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.